Light. Oh, goodness gracious. Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought number 1736. I am here every morning to bring you morsels of a thought of what is hopefully wisdom. Hopefully, that we learn the right things to do, because knowing the right things to do is a form of wisdom. And then actually doing those things is called virtue. Doing the right thing is called virtue. Virtue is doing the right thing. So when you know the right thing to do, it's easy to create virtue. But if you don't know the right thing to do, you come here and get morsels of a thought to stimulate your brain and get a inspiration for a great day. And here, in case you've ever conked yourself on the head or had a brain injury, God forbid, I've had one, two, three, four. I've had many brain injuries, um, notably one with stitches, one where I broke the windshield completely, and another one where it knocked down two of us because we collided. It wasn't my fault either. I was walking out of the girls' bathroom in high school, and a stupid idiot was running alongside the wall, and bam, we hit our heads. She asked me if I was all right. I was so mad. I was more upset then, but it was a concussion. My neurologist said it was another concussion. So, and believe it or not, I had a neurologist to go to every month. Goodness gracious. Okay. The first step is N for non-locality in chapter 9, the sixth pillar. N is for nexus, Nexus. The first step is N for non-locality. We're on page 168. Bob Marley said, "There's a natural mystic flowing through the air." You ever feel like what you're doing doesn't matter? Like the world's just too big and you're too small to make any kind of difference? Let me hit you with the truth right now. This is Dr. Bro. Everything you do matters. It matters big time, and not just the people around you, not just to the people around you, but to the entire universe. I so much agree with that. This is called non-locality. I so much didn't know that. The universe works in non-local, quote unquote, ways because everything is interconnected. That much I knew too. If you have ever heard of a black hole, it is a vortex to which space and time cannot even escape. This is what happens when you get deep into the present moment or into a flow state. There is no time, there is no space, there only is. Einstein believed that the past, present, and future are interconnected. He said, "The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion." Now, a word about this. I practice a form of Chinese life science technology. Some people would call it Qigong, but actually, a lot of people use Qigong as the word to describe some physical emotions and exercises. What I do is a technology to extend life. And it includes, yes, it includes sometimes physical motion, but it does also include alternate universe. Yes. Let me not get so esoteric here. Let me stick with Dr. Bro. But here's the catch, says the doctor. Just because you do not see, hear, smell, feel, sense, or touch something does not mean that it doesn't exist. In fact, what we perceive is only a small percentage of reality. How non-locality shows up in everyday life. Now we're getting somewhere. That's what the doctor says. Think about how quickly people judge others today, especially on social media. Like you could judge me as being silly. No, no thanks. Okay, thank you. You see one post, one photo, or one comment, and suddenly you think you know someone. But what you're seeing is just the surface, a small slice of a much larger picture. The same goes for how we perceive ourselves and the impact we have on the world. Non-locality teaches us to pause, to see beyond the obvious, and to recognize the deeper unseen connections at play. Every action, no matter how small, reverberates across this web of connection. So, even eating the right breakfast every day, even doing the little exercises that I haven't been doing that I'm supposed to be doing, and even doing the mindful meditations, and even a dog sniffing the ground. I mean, no matter how small the action, it reverberates across the web of interconnection. When you focus on the positive, you're not just changing your own energy, you're influencing the entire system, believe it or not. Why this matters to you? Here's a good answer. Understanding non-locality isn't just a cool theory, it's a mindset for transformation. It means that even on your toughest days, when symptoms feel overwhelming or progress feels slow, like for example at the Secret Knock, I fell asleep and didn't get to the book signing. I felt like I had wasted my whole trip, but I was there for a reason, and I currently have to find out what that reason is, but it's still felt like there was no progress, but I was still there. Okay, now back to the doctor. It means that even on your toughest days, when the symptoms feel overwhelming or progress feels slow, what you do still matters. Each intentional breath, each kind thought, each step forward creates it creates ripples of healing, not just in you, but in the world around you. Not just in you, but in the world around you. So before you judge yourself or someone else based on what you see in a single moment, remember this: you're part of something bigger. And every choice you make has the power to change it. Now, I was given some words of encouragement by AC Rosita. She said, "You listened to your body and you slept through that time." And it was really, I had been going through a crazy, crazy time. In fact, I lost a friend around the same time. However, what we're reading is Brain Rescue, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion by Dr. Brody Miller, Ph.D. His wife's name is Rocio, um, Rocio. It's not written here, but he has a wife, and just wanted to let you know. I don't know why. The second step in Nexus is E for entanglement. To tap the force of the universe itself, we must see ourselves as part of the world rather than separate from it. That's by Greg Braden. Gregg Braden. Have you ever wondered why a mother can sense when something is wrong with her child? How she just knows, even if they're halfway across the world? There's no phone call, no text, yet she feels it deep in her gut. Why? Because even though they're separated in space and time, they're still connected in a way most people can't explain. It's not magic. It's called quantum entanglement, my friends. You see, when two particles become entangled, it doesn't matter if they're inches apart or light years away. What happens to one instantly affects the other. Instantly, he's right. Change the state of one particle and the other responds immediately. There's no lag time, no waiting around. It even happens faster than the speed of light. Isn't that great? You're getting this. That's the power of entanglement, and you better believe it applies to you, to people too. But don't just take my word for it, says Dr. Bo. This isn't some fairy tale idea. I'm going to refer to Nicholas Gisin's study once again that pushed this from a theory into hard science. His team proved this connection was real by separating entangled particles with a laser, sending them 10 kilometers apart through fiber optic cables. They showed the particles still responded to each other faster than light could travel. Imagine that for a second, no matter the distance, they were still linked, still reacting to each other in real time. Now, Yin Yang is going to say, I wonder if this had to do with the idea that particles could seem to be in two places at one time. Because that is the basis of the technology that I practice. I don't know if it's related to this. It could be the same thing. I don't know. Okay, back to Dr. Bro. Even though conventional thinking states that particles are separate and have no communication with each other, they act as if if they are still connected. This experiment wasn't done once. It's been tested and retested. Now, here's where it gets even more real. This isn't just some fancy laboratory experiment either. This is life. This is you, me, and everyone you've ever been connected to. This is karma. This is the universe's cosmic balancing act. Every action you take, every word you speak, creates an energy, a ripple, and like entanglement, that energy doesn't fade just because it's out of sight. It's coming back to you, whether it's tomorrow, next week, or in a decade, it's on its way. Just like the Bible says, the sins of the father shall be visited upon the son. S-O-N. So, Dr. Bro, says Dr. Bro, so if you're out there throwing negativity into the world, oh damn, I just did, spreading hate, being mean, acting out of selfishness, don't think for a second you're immune from what's coming. That's because every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That's particle physics. There's no getting around that. Once something is joined, it is always connected, whether it remains physically linked or not. Now, even the Mormons have this idea that DNA is linked between couples that get married and blah, blah. Okay, that I don't know. I'm not a Mormon. However, that is the farthest I got in the Mormon study. So, says Dr. Bro, don't take this lightly. Don't take this lightly. The universe is watching, reacting, and responding to every move you make. You are not just a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop. Every ripple you send out affects the whole. WHOLE. The law of entanglement, karma, energy, call it what you want. It's all the same. What you give, you get back. Make sure you're giving something worth receiving. Okay. I'm going to say something. No, I'm not. Okay. So the third step is X for X-ray. I seem to like to say a lot of things, right? Okay. Neil deGrasse Tyson said, the beauty of the electromagnetic spectrum is that it contains all forms of light. What we can see is just a tiny sliver of it. Yes, our eyes only see a tiny sliver of it. Did you know that cats can see UV rays? I I assume that's so that they can tell whether an eagle is in the air, because if they can see that the sunlight is You are stuck in the matrix, Dr. Burr said, but not in the same way that you think. As mentioned before, we only perceive a small percentage of reality, and I am going to prove that to you. Okay, here we go. Let's consider an X-ray machine. For example, look at a picture of the electromagnetic spectrum below. The X-ray machine emits radiation at wavelengths of about 0.01 to 10 nanometers. Okay. This means that the X-ray's energy is much higher than visible light, which is why we cannot see it with the naked eye. Now, look at the colors we can see, part of the visible light spectrum. Red has a wavelength of approximately 620 to 750 nanometers. Orange is around 590 to 620 nanometers. Yellow is between 570 to 590 nanometers. Green is around 495 to 570 nanometers. Blue ranges from 450 to 495 nanometers. Violet or purple is approximately 380 to 450 nanometers. Similarly, the same principle applies to sound. Humans can hear sound frequencies between 20 hertz and 20,000 hertz, 20,000 kilohertz. Those are cycles per second. But most sounds are beyond our hearing range. Ooh. The same is true for all our senses like smell and touch. Different animals can perceive different things. Have you ever heard of a dog whistle? It's a small whistle that humans can't hear, but dogs can. That's because the sound it makes is at a frequency higher than what our ears can pick up. While we hear nothing, dogs can hear it loud and clear. Their sense of smell is estimated to be 10,000 to 100,000 times more acute than ours. Ooh, interesting. We're trying to get wisdom. We gain wisdom through other people who are very wise and who give us books like the Brain Rescue, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or a concussion. And hopefully that we learn the right things to do, because that learning the right things to do is wisdom. Morsels of a thought. 1736, yes. This shows us that we are only capable of perceiving a small fraction of the full electromagnetic spectrum, while many other frequencies like X-rays and ultraviolet light exist beyond what we can perceive. The reality we perceive is just a tiny slice of the full spectrum. So your ability to tune into different energies and vibrations is always changing. When you change what you focus on and your daily habits, this changes like the reticular activating system I was telling you about before. This is directly related to how our memories work. The more in touch you are with the energy and frequency of your vibration, the easier you can recall that memory. You're remembering only a fraction of what's possible for your mind. This is how you rescue your brain. Your brain is a frequency detecting machine. The better it works, the more you can tune into. Change your energy, change your life. The fourth step is U for unknown, NEXUS. Dr. Joe Dispenza said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. That's cute. Listen up, says Dr. Brody, because I'm about to drop some truth on you that most people are too scared to face. Do you want your memory back? You want to stop feeling lost in your own head, wondering if you'll ever be the same? Then you better be ready to do what most people won't. Get used to the uncertainty and own it. Ever heard of the uncertainty principle? Capital U, capital P. It came from a study by Werner Heisenberg in 1927, and it's pretty crazy. Heisenberg was a physicist who was exploring the behavior of tin particles like electrons. He wanted to measure both where they were positioned and how fast they were moving, momentum. He found something straight up mind-blowing, that you can't know where a particle is and how fast it's moving at the same time. The more precisely you try to measure one, the less accurately you can measure the other. It's a big part of quantum mechanics, but we're not here to talk science. We're here to talk your memory. Our brains are seriously tuned into the universe, by the way, if you haven't caught that message here already. Life and recovery are like that too, says the doctor. Right now, you're trying to figure out where your memory is. Oh, by the way, he's a PhD doctor, okay? Life and recovery are like that too. Right now, you're trying to figure out where your memory is, trying to grab it and fix it. But here's the truth. You can't force it back into place. Your brain, just like those tiny particles in Heisenberg's principle, won't respond to being forced into a box. You try to push it too hard, and suddenly everything feels uncertain or like it's slipping away. But guess what? That's okay, because the real power comes in accepting that uncertainty. You're not going to get all the answers right away, and that's part of the process. You're not here to be perfect every second of the day. You're here to move forward inch by inch, and that's where the real strength comes from. I can't believe we only have 3 minutes left. Perfection doesn't exist. In fact, the more you try to do things perfectly, the more you are going to struggle. It's important to accept our imperfections and learn to make mistakes in life, because mistakes are the best learning lessons that life gives us. Take, for example, when you first learned to ride a bicycle. You fell again and again. It was horrifying. But you eventually got to that beautiful moment in time when everything came together and you were riding. That's the essence of life and learning. Mistakes are really just small samples of life. Don't read it. Don't just read it. Apply it. Forget perfection. Number one. Forget perfection. You're not going to nail every detail right now. Stop expecting it. Every time you try to grab onto something perfectly, you're only tightening the noose around your own progress. Accept the imperfections of life. Number two, face the uncertainty head on. You don't know when everything will come back. And you know what? Good. That's where the real warriors rise. You don't need everything to be certain to dominate your life. You need to show up even when the path is unclear and keep hammering away. Number three, you feel like you feel like Dr. Brody Miller knows chain us. You know? Do you feel it? It's kind of cool. Number three, take action every damn day. That's what he says. That's what he says. Memory comes back to those who work for it. Do the exercises, write things down, practice meditation, and push your limits. You're going to feel stuck sometimes, but do it anyway. Get up and take a swing, no matter how off target you feel. No excuses. In my practice that I happen to copy from Dr. Yanxing, um, even the thought of something is better than not the thought of something. Okay. Brody Miller, Ph.D., says most warriors, Worriers, with a capital W, love to whine about uncertainty. You're not one of them. You're a warrior, Warrior, who thrives in it. That's a capital W as well. The more you push forward without needing to be perfect, the more unstoppable you become. It's not about getting your memory back in one big moment. It's about showing up and fighting for it each and every day. You don't need it all to be clear. You just need to move. So stop overthinking and make it happen. Embrace the chaos and keep driving forward. Get after it. You know how the British say, carry on. Wes Watson. The fifth step is S for superposition, Nexus. The fifth step is XSS for superposition. And Wes Watson said, life is not a window, it's a mirror. In the quantum world, particles like electrons or atoms exist in a state of superposition, meaning they can be in multiple places at the same time. Okay, this is the ultimate reflection of how our lives unfold. We shall continue with this later. This is so good here, okay? I'm probably going to make this a permanent book in my show. Very, very, very likely. Because we need to know this stuff. We really do. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Old Kinderhook.